Coach, we'll just start. We didn't get to talk to you after the game. Kind of what was your reaction after such a big win like that on Saturday?
I was excited for the girls, happy. Really, they showed just a lot of fight and resiliency the entire game. Kind of never get. I compared it to the fourth quarter against Liberty when we were in a single possession game and we didn't have the same poise, the same presence of mind, and I felt like they were really locked in and just finished strongly. And sorry I didn't get in here. My little girl was sick. My wife was out of town, so I had to rush it out.
That's 3 games in a row where you've been able to finish strong like that. You feel like maybe in a way this team's kind of turning the corner because there was that little stretch where you weren't finishing the way you wanted to, and here the last 3 games.
Well, yeah, last year at the end of the season, we had several games that we kind of let get away from us. And so I feel like this year, just a lot more presence of mind, something we work on regularly in practice about. We play 3-minute games where you have to manage the clock and understand the time to score it. And so we do those, and then we review those decisions. And I feel like they're getting better and better at understanding those kind of situations. And I told them, like, I felt like we took good shots down the stretch against Middle Tennessee. Doesn't mean you can always make those shots. We've got other games where, just the FIU game, where we missed some really good shots. But that's the key, is knowing what you need in that situation, whether you need a 2 or a 3, whether you're going to get fouled or not get fouled, whether you got timeouts or don't have timeouts, and understanding the matchups. And so I felt like they did a really good job down the closing moments of that ball.
And you talk about shot selection. MTSU had the best defense. They still have the best defense, but you guys were the first team to even score above 50 in conference play against them. Do you think that kind of says something about how you're being selective on what shots you should take from deep or layups or what that might be?
Yeah, I think the entire team realized what we did. One of the things that we did wrong in one of our other home games, where we just shot ourselves in the foot by just jacking up a whole bunch of. They were uncontested threes, but they were quality threes. They were quality shots. So we really focused on trying to get back to hunting good quality uncontested shots. And so I think that they were, Destiny Salary made a really good balanced shot down the stretch. Casey Hayes got a layup there. And so we had several good decisions down the stretch that were good shots. And usually when you take good shots, you make a higher percentage of those. We still didn't shoot the ball very well. So we're still working on it.
You had some good minutes from your bench, too. I know it's something that last year at times that was an issue, but whether it was Callie, even Mackenzie coming in the fourth with Alexis, Salma, Mariama, Maya. That's kind of be good to see that you're getting that depth and they're getting confidence to kind of make you maybe a little more complete team than you were even when the season started.
Yeah, and Callie Rose kind of offensively kept us in the game in that first half, made several shots in that left short corner area, attacked the basket a little bit. So and really, we were down 9. If she had made those shots, it could have been worse. And so, but yeah, Kinsey came in down the stretch, made good decisions, had an assist. Josie Gibbon made some big shots as well in that fourth quarter. But I felt like Salma came in and gave us quality minutes, good effort. Didn't get some really good shots to fall, but really played hard and gave us some presence in there. So they're continuing to grow and learn and just kind of find their footing. And so that's kind of what you want to happen when you add a bunch of new faces to a team. It takes some time for that to kind of gel. And so they're finding their footing and they're getting more confident.
This education day is always a little different. The crowd's a little different. They cheer things a little differently. With that being said, how fun is it to be a part of this? And how much do you feel like the players kind of enjoy this? Because it's pretty noisy here.
It gets really noisy, but it's a great day for all the kids. It's a great day for our schools. And you never know, I tell our players, you never know which kid might get a chance to see you or have interaction with you or something that might motivate them, either maybe athletically, but maybe something that carries over to their academics as well. And so we're excited. We're always excited to have the kids come in here. It's a different atmosphere. You're right. Sometimes the timeouts are even louder than the game, but that's fun. It's fun for the kids to be here. We appreciate all the effort it takes for the school system to get over here and all the extra facility people that have to be here. But it creates a fun environment, and I know our players love playing.
You talk about Josie's game on Saturday. Of course, she had 10 of her 17 in that fourth quarter, and it felt like she was really locked down on both sides of the ball. Can you kind of just talk about how hard she's worked over the past couple of years to finally get over the hump against Middle?
Josie's always been a winner. Like, it's not just, yes, she's worked really hard in the spring and summer, and now I think we're seeing some of the fruits or results of that work. But that doesn't change the competitive spirit, the winning attitude that she's always had. She's always played with this never-ending energy, whether it's offense or defense. And she's always had a team-first attitude, and that's why she, has the success that she's had in high school, and she continues to work hard to continue to get better now. So now we're seeing she's worked on some skill things that's continued to add to her game and add confidence to her. And so she goes out. And she didn't have a great third quarter offensively, but it never affects her ability to impact the game in other ways, whether it's assists or steals or rebounds. And she continues to do that. And in my book, and I know that Princess and Molly both are deserving. They had great weeks, but she was deserving of a Player of the Week award, and in my book. And of course, I'm a little biased, but she continues to go out every day in practice. She just shows up and gets after it and challenges everyone, and really kind of sets that bar for what it means to be a star in your role. And even when I was recruiting her in high school, you look at the box score, and it was every night she was close to a double-double, close to a triple-double, and sometimes she was close to a quadruple-double. And so she continues to do that, and without any expectation of accolades at all. She just wants the team to be successful.
One of the things a couple of things wanted to work on from week to week, day to day, one of those things being rebounding. At the beginning of that game kind of got a little bit out of control, being out rebounded 10-0, but it seemed like rebounding definitely came together as the game went on, so that's one good thing to see. Another big key was making your layups, and really as that game progressed, you really saw the confidence in Acacia and Josie and everyone just crashing the boards and being able just to go up with confidence. Even Destiny, even though her first shot at the very end didn't go in, she was there for the putback. It was just really good to see them really being able to drive to the basket with confidence in that game.
And to be on balance and to be under control. And yes, and that was a huge difference. And we had to have a little chat at halftime about rebounding. And we came out with a whole different grit, a whole different focus about being relentless to pursue the ball. That first quarter, we just weren't even trying to box out. We were just watching the flight of the ball, and those were easy rebounds. Not that Middle Tennessee players wouldn't have gotten them anyway, but we weren't making it difficult for anybody to get rebounds. And so we kind of got them. They had seen themselves do it well and on film against Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State, and we had seen numerous clips where we had done a good job. And so we just had to remind ourselves that that's what we do to be successful. And they got back in. We still ended up getting out rebounded in the second half, but it wasn't the margin it was in the first half. We were down 13 in the first half. I think we ended up 15 for the game, but it was a lot better effort in the second half. And we got some key offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds down the stretch in that fourth quarter.
We talked before last week that you're going to have 2 weeks to be at home. Now you get this whole full week. It's got to be good to kind of stay at home, not have to worry about travel, particularly with them going back this semester. You can kind of get back in that routine a little bit before you have to go back on the road. But you do have 2 quality teams coming in.
Louisiana Tech is gritty and tough as anybody in our conference, and that's what we're obviously focused on first. And so it'll be a tough fight. It'll be a tough game. They're always they've got from like Will Freshman's name, right? Yeah, Brent. I can see her number in my head. They got a young team, but they're just gritty and tough. Of course, Lee's back as a senior, but they'll be somewhere in between Middle Tennessee and FIU. There's grittiness, and they don't have the size, obviously, but they're going to fight and be really tough defensively. And so it'll be a challenge. And it's nice to be home, but today's the first day of class, and so there's not really a routine when you're shifting from vacation or downtime to class time. So we're making that adjustment, but I'd rather make that adjustment be at home than making that adjustment be on the road.
You talk about finishing out games and then the bench production, of course, over the weekend. How encouraging is it that on any given night, it could be somebody in the starting 5 or somebody on the sideline that's going to step up any moment for your team.
And we try to build, the staff, we try to build that confidence with everybody that on any given night it can be your night. So you've got to continue to do the things that we do every day to get yourself ready. And so I was really proud of, Kinsey Chatfield's had nights where she's come in and really been a difference maker for us, both in conference and in the non-conference. And then Callie Rose had that great first half that really made a big difference for us. And so, I can foresee, I guess, would be the word that Maya Patrick would come in and have one of those nights. Selma Muir could come in and have one of those. So we have Mariama Sal could come in and have a great night. So it is great to have all those additional players that are working hard and really confident when they get the game. But we still can try to stress that the most important thing isn't coming in and making those shots. Well, we need to put points on the board, but it's coming in, you play defense, you rebound, you take care of the ball. That's the main thing.
Now, kind of going off that, kind of getting into your bench a little bit earlier on in that game, just because it was on both sides of the ball, but both teams got into a little bit of foul trouble pretty early in that game. So, getting 2 fouls early, got to come out for a little bit. You're getting a little antsy there. But how do you kind of you really kind of see it with Destiny, because you see her passion, you see her drive, and sometimes she gets a little antsy and then she'll draw that really early foul. And so how do you really kind of just instill it in them just to be aggressive but just make smart decisions?
And that's something that we talk. If you're going to make a mistake, make an aggressive mistake. But when it comes to defense, sometimes you've got to make sure that you're being aggressive, but you're not being aggressive with your hands. And so sometimes we just get a little over-aggressive, and it's not just Destiny. We've had Lexi B gets it. Casey Hayes had it said, and as long as I told the staff, as long as we're within 6, we're going to let her sit right here. And so Josie Gilman's been all last season. I would love for Josie to play 40 minutes a game, but Josie would pick up 2 fouls in warm-ups, and so she was always in foul. So it's just a learning process about learning how to play defense with your head, your feet, and not using your hands as much. And so sometimes you kind of get yourself caught in a tough situation. Sometimes you get an unfortunate foul, but the nice thing is what we talked about with having the bench and being able to have players come in and give you that opportunity and not feel like, okay, now I've got to play differently because I have 3 fouls in the first half. And so we're in a good spot with the bench and being able to play like that. And we have great competition in practice every day.
Of the 2 numbers that stood out, they had 3 second chance points in the second half and 20 in the first half. And then 5 turnovers total per game against one of the best defenses.
We had 5 turnovers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 5 turnovers.
They had 14.
No, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. You only had 5 turnovers that game.
And Lexi Mead had 0. That's of all the stat lines, of all the things you could praise Callie Rose for her shot. You could praise Josie Gilman, but when you look at Alexis Mead and knowing the defensive pressure that she was under, 0 turnovers. That's impressive. And so, and for the team to have 5 turnovers, and that's, again, it's rebound, play defense, take care of the ball. And then we can stay in ball games. And we're not shooting the ball well, but those 3 things will keep you in ball games and give you a chance to win. And so, but yeah, it was impressive to get to that. We didn't have a whole lot of steals. Middle Tennessee 14 is a little bit, not significantly greater than their turnovers, but I thought we did a good job of taking care of the ball. We made the adjustment. Halftime did a better job on the boards to keep ourselves. I think at halftime they had 20 points off turnovers, I believe. Second chance points, but that was directly related to the lack of rebounding that we were doing. That made a big adjustment in the second half, and we got some points off turnovers, which was we need that.
Boldy Reva might be one of the tallest, if not the tallest player that you're going to face all year on defense. But it felt like Callie and Zophie and Mariama, all 3 really stood up to the test. Can you talk about how big that is for their learning and their experience this season?
And sometimes we use Salma in that role a little bit, and sometimes we would push Maya or Josie to help us out for possessions in that role. But those 3, Callie Rose and Zophie and Yama, have done a great job. We continue to work on how to defend the post. It's a little bit different than what you might have been taught at junior college or in high school. And so you've got to understand where your advantage is. And when you're playing against Bella Smuda or Anastasia Borreva, your advantage is not size. So you can't play that way. You've got to play a different way. And we continue to work on that. And I've seen improvements almost game by game in all of them. And so they did a great job that game. She's still a tough player to guard.
Very good.
Thanks, guys.